Hello out there in LSAT land, Matt Riley checking in. And as LSAT scores are rolling into your inbox, we thought we would check in real quick, say congratulations to those of you who did great, but also we wanted to talk to those of you who might not have done quite as well as you were hoping. And the big question is, should I go again? If you dropped a couple points or you know you're capable of scoring a couple points better on the LSAT, well, the big question that people are confronted with is it worth it to wait and try again? The first concern that you might have is the fact that law schools work on, of course, rolling admissions. So they start to let people in as soon as they start to get applications. And so a lot of students have the fear that if they wait and take the December LSAT, well, then my application's going to be late. The first thing that you should do is you should check out a little blog post that Jodi wrote here on MSS last week. It's called Applying to Law School in the Fall, and that lays out some of the rules about how you should go about applying if you're going to take the December LSAT. It turns out that about 60% of people who apply to law school wait and apply after January 4th. People tend to procrastinate. So the short answer is if you end up taking the December LSAT, while your application is not going to be early, it doesn't really have to be late. With that in mind, the question really comes down to this. Well, should I keep the score that I'm not super happy with and apply earlier, or should I wait and take it again in December and hope for a couple more points? Well, the first thing you got to think about is, are you really going to get those couple more points? And I have actually crunched the numbers for people who retake the LSAT, and it turns out that, yeah, there's a very strong possibility that you can increase your LSAT score if you try to take the test again. I wrote a blog post on this a long time ago where I crunched the numbers of how people do the second time around, and it actually turns out that people increase by an average of about 3 points, and roughly 70% of people increase their LSAT score the second time that they take the test. In general, it's harder to see a huge jump the second time that you take it if you're talking about 5, 7, 10 points, but even those type of increases definitely do happen when people go in and take the test again. If you know anything about law school admissions and you've seen the numbers, you do know that those little increases can make a big change. If you go from a 157 up to a 161 on the LSAT, now we're talking about totally different schools. So if you actually think that you're capable of that type of jump, it might be worth waiting and trying to take the test again. A quick word of warning for you. There are a lot of people who take this test a second time and they stay the same, don't increase at all, or some people actually go down, and of course we want to avoid that situation. So the lesson to be learned from that is you have to do something different. It's not just the experience of taking the LSAT, where second time you'll be better than the first time. You're going to have to study a little bit differently. So for those of you who might not have taken a prep class, maybe it's time to go find one that's going to get you ready for the December test. Or even if you did, it's time to really fine-tune some of those weaknesses, maybe work on some more timing, go back, actually do some of that reading comprehension homework the second time around. But you really have to work so that you see that increase in your score. So the big lesson is this: good news. Especially with the new admissions policies at law schools and the fact that they are weighing the highest LSAT score much more heavily these days, a bad LSAT score, a bad day for you, is not the end of the world. Numbers tell you you can take the December test and your application won't be late. The numbers also say that increasing your LSAT score the second time around is totally possible, but remember, you're going to have to put some work in. So keep all that in mind. If it didn't go well, put it behind you. Let's go again in December and make sure that we do better the second time around so we can put all this crap behind us.